Welcome to Bellwether Wealth's webinar series, Navigate Exit Planning with Confidence. In Season 1, Drive Your Business Like You're Going to Sell It, we're joined by John Fullwider, a business value growth advisor at Gear 80. For today's episode, we will discuss keeping your business.
Today, we are talking about my specialty, which is helping business owners create self-managing companies. This is what I've been doing for the past 8 years, working with more than 40 business owners. And here's the promise: you can exit your business without selling it. Two options we'll look at today to exit day-to-day management of your business while keeping ownership of it. One, create a self-managing company. That's where systems and people other than you are 100% responsible for the daily operations of the business. And you're freed up to contribute only what kicks your tires and lights your fires. Often, that's using your unique creativity to make the company more valuable to customers by coming up with better and better solutions for customer problems. Option number two we'll cover today is to PE yourself. That's where you grow your business dramatically like a private equity firm would after buying your company, but you still own your company. So you're able to protect your non-financial values like loyalty to your employees and loyalty to your community. We've been using a tool in the last 2 or 3 episodes to help you keep track of and rate your exit options. It's a simple one-page scorecard with all 10 exit options down the left side. Now, we're looking at the final 2 exit options today. And of course, the scorecard also lists the 8 other options we reviewed in the 2 previous episodes. We're posting a link to the exit options scorecard in the chat. If you're listening to or watching the recording, the link will be in the description section of this video. Today's episode is going to be a lot different from the previous 2 episodes on exit options. When I was covering inside exit options and outside exit options in episodes 11 and 12, I was answering what questions, as in what are the pros and cons of the exit options. Today, I'm going to answer who questions, as in who do you need to be in order to create a self-managing company. First on our list of who you need to be the type of business owner who wants a self-managing company. My business coach, Dan Sullivan, wrote a book called The Self-Managing Company. In the book, he writes, quote, "Having a company that manages itself to greater growth and success without the owner having to be involved in all aspects of the day-to-day management of the business is a universal desire for all entrepreneurs." A couple of years back, I was speaking to a business owner peer group, and I read that quote to them. I expected nods, smiles, maybe even a person jumping out of their chair, waving a handkerchief in the air and shouting, "Glory, hallelujah." Instead, crickets. Turns out they were business owners, not entrepreneurs. An entrepreneur named Reed Tilliston cleared this up for me. He wrote a helpful distinction between business owners on the one hand and entrepreneurial business owners on the other. Tilliston's book, Grit It Done, love that title, defines business owners as people who, quote, own their upside. That is, they take home the profits of whatever improvements and efforts they implement. Yet often, the business owns them more than they own the business. Business ownership too often becomes a dead-end job that pays the bills while leaving calendar control and financial freedom on the table. Businesses like this have limited resale value. Tilliston keeps twisting the knife. He concludes his definition of business owners with this quote: business owners often trade the security of employment with good benefits, which lacks autonomy, for self-employment, which has autonomy yet lacks the benefits. Ouch. Then he defines an entrepreneurial business owner. An entrepreneurial business owner is, quote, living the dream. They own their upside, control their calendar, and experience true autonomy. They apply the entrepreneurial mindset to business ownership and have the systems in place so the business can operate without them. He concludes, quote, when they choose to work on the business, they do the blocking and tackling when it comes to creating equity value. An effective entrepreneurial business owner owns their business and in so doing owns their life. I said much the same thing earlier in this webinar series. A business that runs itself is the ultimate prize because when you don't have to work for it, that's when you truly own it. Second on our list of who you've got to be to create a self-managing company, you've got to want a company that's easy, lucrative, and fun, not hard, annoying, lame, and frustrating. What makes a business easy, lucrative, and fun is that one, it runs like clockwork. Two, it has industry-leading profit and cash flow. And three, it enables you to do what you want, when you want, with whom you want, where you want. In other words, it gives you freedom of purpose, freedom of time, freedom of relationship, and freedom of location. You might make a note of that on your rating your exit options worksheet. Remember, the link to that worksheet's in the chat, and it's in the video description if you're watching this recording later. What makes a business hard, annoying, lame, and frustrating, on the other hand, is one, people who don't fit your core values. Two, and this is a tough one, so get ready for it, having to micromanage people, not because they're incompetent, but because you're the only one who knows how to do the thing, which means you've made them incompetent. They didn't start that way. You made them that way. Three, having to reinvent the wheel every time because you haven't written down the steps. Four, not moving in the direction you want at the speed you want, having to slow down, running into roadblocks, speed bumps, and traffic jams. And five, hard, as in hard labor. You're chained to your desk, breaking rocks all day. Businessman and author Tim Fargo says, you don't get any points in life doing things the hard way. So don't put up any longer with a hard, annoying, lame, and frustrating business. Third on our list of who you've got to be to create a self-managing company, you've got to be absolutely convinced there's a next level for your business. Three inspirational quotes to get you started on the path to absolutely convinced. One, every step you take toward making your business more sellable makes it more valuable and enjoyable to own right now. Two, this is a long and complicated one, settle in. Two, on a 5-year time horizon, an ordinary private business can feasibly grow its revenues by 2.5 times by growing 20% a year. Such growth necessitates and forces internal process improvements and external differentiation, which can double net profit margin, resulting in a 5x or higher growth in the value of the business. Reaching that next level of profit in your business, by the way, will roll right into our next gotta be. First, quote 3. A business without profit is a job with extra stress. A business with predictable profit is a freedom machine. Here's the fourth item on our list of who you've got to be to create a self-managing company. You have got to be absolutely convinced there's a next level for yourself. When your business doesn't depend on you, you have the mental and financial freedom to pursue other dreams, whether that's starting another business, traveling, retiring early, spending more time with your family, or all four at the same time. But the reality for many business owners is high stress, low pay, and being stuck in the job. The dream, that next level for yourself, is financial freedom, flexibility, and controlling your own destiny. Michael Gerber wrote the grandfather of books about systemizing your business and getting back your freedom. He wrote in that book, freedom does not come automatically. It is achieved, and it's not gained in a single bound. It must be achieved each day. When you've got your eye on both the next level for your business and the next level for yourself, you'll work to make those achievements each day, and they'll be worth it. Fifth on our list of who you've got to be to create a self-managing company, you've got to love systems and processes, or at least like the idea of them enough to hire someone who loves them. W. Edwards Deming was the father of the modern quality movement in manufacturing. He said, quote, each system is perfectly designed to give you exactly what you are getting today. And I say, therefore, if you want different results, you've got to change the system. Systems and processes are what create profit in your business, as we learned back in part 1 of our webinar series. Now, I'd say more than half of the 40 business owners I've worked with were pretty reluctant to fall in love with processes. So on the screen, I've got a little comic relief to warm us up. For those of you listening to the webinar, we've got a picture of a narrow water channel between two steep cliffs. Barely fitting between the two cliffs is a giant cargo ship labeled My Business. The left cliff is labeled Life. The right cliff is labeled Stress. And pulling the ship through the narrow passage is a small but mighty tugboat labeled Processes. It gets better. On the slide, there's another picture of mission control at some space agency. On the left side are some people labeled rocket scientists. On the right side is a bookcase full of paper binders labeled documented processes. Even rocket scientists, actual rocket scientists, need the processes. Good stuff. To create a self-managing company, you've got to shift your mindset from an owner-run business to a process-run business. That's because, in the words of my mentor, Greg Cleary, processes run businesses, people run processes, and processes take pressure off of people. Another way to look at this, systems permit ordinary people to achieve extraordinary results predictably. You yourself are extraordinary if you've started and grown a business. Few people try and even fewer succeed. You got through those early days through extraordinary, do whatever it takes effort, and the sheer force of your will. You can't rely on other people to put in the same extraordinary effort you did. That's why you need systems. Sixth on our list of who you've got to be to create a self-managing business is you've got to want to own an investment, not a business. Wait, what? Yes. Most business owners optimize for annual income, and their business depends on them. Our friend Michael Gerber writes, if your business depends on you, you don't own a business. You have a job. And it's the worst job in the world because you're working for a lunatic. As you create your self-managing company, you're going to change what you're optimizing for. Optimize for taking dividends from your investment in the business you own, not for annual income from it. If you're a fan of Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad books, you'll know that optimizing for investment income moves you from the self-employed quadrant where you own a job up into the right to the B type business owner quadrant where you own a system that works for you. Now, that might sound familiar to you because Reed Tillerson said essentially the same thing in the Grit It Done book we looked at earlier. I think it's worth rereading about what Tillerson calls the entrepreneurial business owner. Quote, they apply the entrepreneurial mindset to business ownership and have the systems in place so the business can operate without them. When they choose to work on the business, they do the blocking and tackling when it comes to creating equity value. An effective entrepreneurial business owner owns their business and in so doing owns their life. Seventh and last on our list of who you have to be to create a self-managing company, you've got to be allergic to reinventing the wheel. That's because all the steps to grow a world-class business are already written down. When you follow them, you can save your creative energy for solving customer problems. Wait, what? I thought we were creating a self-managing company for me. I thought I wasn't going to do anything in the company after that. In fact, to be honest, I was sitting here kind of worried that you and my team are trying to put me out to pasture. Not at all. Friends, when you have a self-managing company that runs by yourself, it does free you up to not work in it at all, certainly. And here's the more exciting part, I think. It frees you up to work only in your unique ability. For most entrepreneurs, coming up with creative solutions to customer problems is one of their unique abilities. That's how they've grown a company that's different from and more valuable to customers than its competitors. And that's how they'll keep growing it, spending their time, energy, and attention on solving problems for customers, not on solving problems in the business. Where are the steps to build a world-class business written down? Well, they're in the transcript of this webinar series if you print it out, for one. I've shown you over the past 12 episodes how to create the 3 measurable indicators of a world-class business: predictable profit and cash flow, predictable sustainable revenue growth, and predictable transferable value. And there are important bits and pieces in business operating system books like Traction, Pinnacle, Scaling Up, Summit OS, and Business Made Simple. For a special focus on building a sellable company, the 2 instruction manuals are Buyable by my friend Steve Prada and Built to Sell by John Warlow. I like book subtitles a lot because the good subtitles summarize the book's value proposition. Let's just read a couple here. For Buyable, the subtitle is Your Guide to Building a Self-Managing, Fast-Growing, and High-Profit Business. Sounds like a perfect fit, right? For Built to Sell, the subtitle is Creating a Business That Can Thrive Without You. Another perfect fit. Friends, it's been done many, many times before. When you're allergic to reinventing the wheel, you can do it too. Coming into the home stretch here, our final exit option of the series is to PE yourself. That's where you grow your business dramatically, like a private equity firm would, without actually selling to private equity. That way, you're able to protect your non-financial values like loyalty to your employees and loyalty to your community. I am writing a book titled PE Yourself, so you might expect me to spend a lot of time on my own stuff, but no, that's because all the things that I've told you in this episode about creating a self-managing company and who you have to be to create a self-managing company are the prerequisites for PEing yourself. They're the preparation you have to do in advance. And I'd rather you focus your time, energy, and attention right now on becoming the kind of person who wants a self-managing company. So I'll just ask, do you want to go a step beyond a self-managing company and PE yourself? That is, act like your own private equity firm. Private equity firms buy businesses like yours at a fair price, run a growth playbook to make them much more profitable, then sell them at a premium. Wouldn't it be cool to run that growth playbook while you still own your business and then keep the business that's now more profitable and easier and more fun to run, or sell it for top dollar, or keep it as a cash flowing asset while you do other things? Those are the things that can happen when you PE yourself. Now, doing so means looking out at what best in class businesses are doing. A lot of those best in class businesses are owned by private equity firms. With the growth playbooks you've learned from this webinar series, you can run a self directed private equity play. More aggressively grow your company like a PE firm would while still protecting your non financial values. PEing yourself won't be easy. It'll be hard, but the good kind of hard. And that is it for today. Our final episode of our 14 episode webinar series next week sums up the entire series and gives you some options for getting help from me and or from Bellwether Wealth with selling your business or keeping it. Business owners like you are often stuck in the weeds, wearing too many hats, chained to their businesses, and 80% of them are unable to get out by selling their businesses. This webinar series has been about moving three needles in your business that get you out of those bad situations. One, predictable profit and cash flow. Two, predictable, sustainable revenue growth. And three, predictable, transferable value. That is, making the value of your business transferable to others so that you can sell it. All you have to do to get those three things is follow the instructions in this series to drive your business like you're going to sell it. I'm really looking forward to seeing you next week for the final episode in the series. Until then, friends, be well.